How is one to approach this awareness, of which Maharaj speaks, from the point of view of being one with it?
You must realize first of all that you are the proof of everything, including yourself.
None of being one with it.
You must realize first of all that you are the proof of everything, including yourself.
You are the proof of everything, including yourself.
As if like nothing exists outside of you. Because legitimately, the only reason why you have any awareness of anything around is because you have the sense I am. And like this internal awareness. And so, yeah, like without you, there is no proof of anything. Because there would not be that I amness awareness. Sometimes I wonder too why. I mean, this is just other people's karma, but I just feel like there's no way at this point in my journey, and now that I'm thinking about it, this doesn't have to relate to anybody else. This is just me, nothing to do with any other seeker. For me, if I were to be in the presence of a being like this, I'm at a point where there's no way that I have any questions. Like I just don't have any questions. What the hell could I ask? Like and would I think I would get the answer with what they said? It's like I feel like the only thing for me is like if they're so inclined to like touch me, or I would just sit there and have them look at me, or it's like any of those things. It's just like every story with Ramana Maharshi, just at some point there's and then he looked at me and bang, it happened. It's like not necessarily enlightenment, but it was like something that is probably the most profound thing they had ever experienced happened right when he looked at them.
Oh, goodness.
None can prove your existence, because his existence must be confirmed by yours first. Your being and knowing are your own. You do not come from somewhere. You do not go anywhere. You are timeless being and awareness. Develop the witness attitude and you will find in your own experience that detachment brings control. The state of witnessing is full of power. There is nothing passive about it. Just keep in mind the feeling I am. Merge in it till your mind and feeling become one. By repeated attempts, you will stumble on the right balance of attention and your mind will be firmly established in the thought, feeling, I am. Whatever you think, say, or do, the sense of immutable and affectionate being remains as the ever-present background.
Maharaj often spoke of his guru and the role of the teacher in spiritual life. Every morning he reverently decorated the photos of his guru that hung in the upstairs room. He often said that the true teacher was one's own self.
The greatest guru is your inner self.
What if the picture was just him?
Damn.
One's own self.
The greatest guru is your inner self. Truly, he is the supreme teacher. He alone can take you to your goal, and he alone meets you at the end of the road. Confide in him and you need no outer guru. But again, you must have the strong desire to find him and do nothing that will create obstacles and delays. You are never without a guru, for he is timelessly present in your heart. What he wants you to do is simply learn self-awareness, self-control, and self-surrender. It may seem arduous, but it is easy if you are earnest, and quite impossible if you are not.
Come on!
Biggest thing of the weekend for me was honesty. You're never. It's like the inner voice inside of me has been like constantly repressed because of judgments upon it, which would then have me speak to the rest of the world with dishonesty out of fear of judgment, fear of being incorrect, fear, shame, fear, shame. There's this line from a Kanye West song.
How are we bringing Kanye into this?
Yeah.
Wow.
That has kept coming back to me. Where I think he's talking to his like bipolar self, because on the album Yay. And he goes, like he keeps repeating, "Today I thought about killing you. I think about killing myself, so you best believe that I thought about killing you." But then he goes, "The darkest thoughts are always beside the lightest." Then he like keeps repeating that type of thing. And then he just goes, "Say it out loud, see how it feels. Just see how it feels." It's like the amount of things that we don't even, because this all he's saying is like, I mean, not all he's saying. Self-knowledge, self-inquiry. You cannot be afraid to find the self. You have to say the things out loud. You know, because right when you hesitate on that, that's the judgments, that's the fear, that's the X, Y, Z.
It is the hesitation. Absolutely. It's when like intuition comes, you pause because your mind pauses. And it's like as if your mind knows best. It's like your mind always wants to let you know that the mind knows best. Who the heck is this mind guy? He's really mischievous.
Mm. I guess why that line has been so powerful to me too. It's because it's like, just say it out loud. See how it feels. Just say it out loud. Just say it out loud.
Everything yields to earnestness. The true Guru will never humiliate you, nor will he estrange you from yourself. He will constantly bring you back to the fact of your inherent perfection and encourage you to seek within.
Nisargadatta referred to the illusory sense of being, traditionally called the ego, as the I amness. He says that to find the source of this I amness and fully understand it as nothing more than a conceptual idea of oneself is the way to self-realization and wholeness. Maharaj asks the seeker to be in the state which is prior to the experience of I amness.
The concept I am comes spontaneously and goes spontaneously. Amazingly, when it appears, it is accepted as real. All subsequent misconceptions arise from that feeling of reality in the I amness. The moment the feeling I am appears, the world also appears. Any image you have of yourself is not true. True knowledge is to abide in your own self.
The teachings of Maharaj move.
This is tough. This is wow.
Our awareness from the I amness, this sense of separate identity, to a non-dualistic state of oneness with the Absolute, which is our real nature. Visitors asked for clarification concerning this state of emptiness.
I mean, free of all content. To myself, I am neither perceivable nor conceivable. There is nothing I can point out and say, this I am. You identify yourself.
I've only watched one video from him before, but he says that you can only know who you are through exclusion. Saying, I am not this, I am not that, I am not this, I am not that. You can never point to something and say, I am that.
With everything so easily, I find it impossible. The feeling, I am not this or that, nor is anything mine, is so strong in me that as soon as a thing or a thought appears, there comes at once the sense, this I am not. I find that somehow by shifting the focus of attention, I become the very thing I look at and experience the kind of consciousness it has. I become the inner witness of the thing. I call this capacity of entering other focal points of consciousness love. You may give it any name you like. Since at any point of time and space I can be both the subject and the object of experience, I express it by saying that I am both, and neither, and beyond both.
From the point of view of self-realization or enlightenment, there are no individuals. The Self, or God, exists as all manifestation. A visitor asked Maharaj how this individuality arose, and why we think of ourselves as separate individuals.
Your thoughts about individuality are really not your own thoughts. They are all collective thoughts. You think that you are the one that has the thoughts. In fact, thoughts arise in consciousness. As our spiritual knowledge grows, our identification with the individual body-mind diminishes, and our consciousness expands into universal consciousness. The life force continues to act, but its thoughts and actions are no longer limited to an individual. They become the total manifestation. It is like the action of the wind. The wind doesn't blow for any individual, but for the entire manifestation.
To questions concerning data, work and how one should conduct oneself in the world, Maharaj replied,
Why do you worry about the world before taking care of yourself? You want to save the world, don't you? Can you save the world before saving yourself? And what means being saved? From what? From illusion.
Of like savior mentality that I usually have of like, let me fix things, let me be the thing, versus the saved mentality, which is like devoted to the thing that saved you.
Yeah.
Like surrender to the thing that saved you. What? It's like everything we've came up with over the last like moon cycle has just come up in this video. You're trying to save the world before being saved. What does it mean to be saved? Oh my.
We were just talking about that like a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
I forget which one it was.
Dude, that was the thing that triggered like all the craziness for me this weekend.
Wow.
Was identifying with saved rather than savior. That was how it all started.
I feel like on a certain level, there's a part of me that's felt for a while that my gratitude practices, which just come out of a genuine feeling of gratitude. I wouldn't even necessarily like, I don't like the word practices in this sense. I feel like that is what's done anything for me. Is like just constantly expressing gratitude. Like for me, it's been like pain comes, thank you. Pleasure comes, thank you. Like I feel uncomfortable, thank you. I see a dead animal on the side of the road, thank you. It's like everything, just like constant gratitude. And that it just like something feels like in me that's like the only thing that's helped anything for me. Not any other of this like crap that I do every day so that I can get somewhere.
Where are you going?
Right. Right.
Left. I wanna hear this again.
About the world before taking care of yourself. You want to save the world, don't you? Can you save the world before saving yourself? And what means being saved? From what? From illusion. Salvation is to see things as they already are. Keep quiet. Do your work in the world, but inwardly keep quiet. Then all will come to you. Do not rely on your work for realization. It may profit others, but not you. Your hope lies.
That just made so much sense to me.
Do not rely on your work for realization.
That may help others, but not you. I feel like shaky right now.
In keeping silent in your mind and quiet in your heart. By all means, attend to your duties. Action in which you are not emotionally involved and which is beneficial and does not cause suffering will not bind you. You may be engaged in several directions and work with enormous zest, yet remain inwardly free and quiet with a mirror-like mind, which reflects all without being affected. The unexpected is bound to happen. while the anticipated may never come.
The unexpected is bound to happen, while the anticipated may never come. For me, the anticipated never, ever, ever, ever comes. Unexpected is bound to happen.
So one of the things that's been interesting for me with this path is with the whole like desire thing. Like it's desire for freedom or happiness or whatever. That's the only reason you're on a path like this.
Mm-hmm.
So there is like a form of desire under all of it.
Mm.
And then it almost feels like, or I guess this is where I'm confused. Because it feels like desire is also a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Because with,
Yeah.
you know, like without desire, I mean, first of all, physicality, you die without desire.
Right.
But something like, you know, making the world a better place.
Uh-huh.
Or like wanting to have guaranteed air for your children.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. It's like, what I find fascinating is the idea of being fully involved with that mission without attaching to it. Because it feels like you need to have that like drive or something.
Or like use it as a tool, and then just at one point you just have to let it all go. Like Papaji was asking why, like at one point right before he was enlightened, like why did all of his sadhana stop? He like had a vision of like a bunch of people in Hindu mythology greeting him, and all of a sudden like his very intense sadhana, just he couldn't do it, he physically couldn't do it anymore. And Ramana was like, whoa, how did you get here? He was like, what? Ramana was like, how did you get here? And he said, oh, I took the cab. He's like, what happened when you got here? He was like, I got out and came here. And he's like, that's the same thing. It's like you took the cab, you used your very intense sadhana, and then you left it behind once it had to be dropped off.
Oh, yeah. Because I think something like desire is another one of those things that I haven't given myself the permission to accept it.
Me
even.
Me either.
You know, it's like
Uh-huh.
there's like a conflict there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that conflict that continuously spawns the next cycle.
So true. It's like the shame around the thing. The like resistance to it is what makes it happen. It's almost as if it's really just not the desire itself. It's like the things you attach onto it that are like the really harmful things that make it cyclical.
All is because you are. Grasp this point firmly and deeply and dwell on it repeatedly. To realize this as absolutely true is liberation.
All is because you are. That's just one I had to repeat.
One who has fully investigated himself, the one who has come to understand, will never try to interfere in the play of consciousness. There is no creator with a vast intellect as such. All this play is going on spontaneously. There is no intellect behind it. So don't try to impose yours to bring about any change. Leave it alone. Your intellect is a subsequent product of this process. So how can your intellect take charge of or even evaluate the whole creation? Investigate yourself. This is the purpose of your being. Spirituality is nothing more than understanding this play of consciousness. Try to find out what this illusion is by seeking its source. There can be no consciousness without awareness. There can be awareness without consciousness, as in deep sleep. Awareness is absolute. Consciousness is relative to its content. Consciousness is always of something. Consciousness is partial and changeful. Awareness is total, changeless, calm, and silent. And it is the common matrix of every experience. What you are, you already are. By knowing what you are not, you are free of it and remain in your own natural state. It all happens quite spontaneously and without effort.
Before the appearance of this beingness, whatever state is, that state is prior to or rather beyond beingness and no being state also. I prevail in that state before the arrival of beingness or before the arrival of no beingness also. And with the waking state, all this world is manifest because of my beingness. My world is manifest. That also is observed by that state, which is prior to beingness.
The essential point of his teaching is that we already are absolutely free, and that there is nothing that we have to do or make or become or change ourselves into. We simply have to see the truth of life, which is that we are not this body nor this mind, that they are a play of elements, if you will, and that when we understand that, there comes this extraordinary happiness and freedom. Maharaj put it this way. He said, when I see I am nothing, that is wisdom. And when I see I am everything, that is love. And between those two, my life moves.
Maharaj passed away on September 8, 1981. He remains present as the consciousness within each one of us.
Mm-hmm.